My dear fellow countrymen and women, today we celebrate the establishment of the One Ghana movement. This is a movement of awareness, the beginning of a re-examination of our lives. For, as Socrates, that sage of old, said, the unexamined life may not be worth living. When our forebears and founding fathers established our country, their cause was noble and their motivation impassioned by love of country. Our nation was founded on the visions of leadership, a sense of consciousness and self-worth. The fact that the Ghanaian led Africa in various facets of political and developmental life in the early years of decolonialization bears ample testament to the quality of our national values and the personality traits imbued in us as a people. Yet, in recent decades, we have faltered, we have wavered, and we have, in many cases, lost our way in our search of self-identity, development, and national progress. Collectively, as a people, we have indulged in acts and omissions that have questioned the values and sense of worth of the Ghanaian. From our known entrepreneurial tendencies to the quality of its educational system, Ghana was the model for Africa. We trained our fellow Africans emerging from the scourges of colonial domination and helped them establish governance structures and a trained civil service. We were noted for our dedication to duty and loyalty to country above self. We were the Ghanaians set up as an example of what was possible in Africa. Yet, the converse is regrettably true of us today. The pervasive decay in our social and political fabric continues to eat up any attempt at the development and reinventing of our noble past. My Lord Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have themed this address, "We Are Responsible." And I believe if we all start thinking about Ghana as our responsibility, we will work together to develop in such a manner that will take care of our present needs without jeopardizing the ability of the next generation from meeting their own needs. In fact, I believe that our actions today must guarantee that the needs of subsequent generations are met. To do this, we are all responsible. The One Ghana project and its agenda to promote thought leadership, bipartisanship, political accountability, and prioritization of national interest are all hinged on responsible citizenry. As eloquently espoused by the One Ghana project, the power of a country resides in its citizens, and the success of policy thrives on the responsibility of the citizenry. Our nation's development depends on the extent to which we can maximize its potential. It is a citizen's patriotic responsibility to contribute towards the success of public policy. This includes changing our attitudes and making adjustments in our ethical and moral commitments. This puts us in a better position to demand policy and public service accountability. Citizens form the basic fabric of the nation from which policymakers and public officials emerge. Driving the sense of responsibility within the broader citizenry will not just yield a supportive citizenry, but also a team of highly responsible and effective public policy makers and managers. We are often quick to point fingers at politicians and public servants for failing the nation. But I ask, from where did the politician and the public servant emerge? Is it not the same citizenry we are? We fail to file our tax returns, fail to pay our taxes, and yet expect accelerated economic development from government. We litter our own environment, throwing waste onto streets, into gutters, out of our cars, and yet expect government to keep the environment clean and protect us from health hazards and floods. As I have often jocularly said, when we fail to keep our environment clean, the mosquitoes will not go and attack the mayor of Accra. They will attack us first before they find their way to the mayor's house. When it rains, you will find an island of plastics in the Odo. Plastics actually come together, they form an island. We seem to want to kill ourselves. We hail benefactor officials whose legitimate earnings do not match their lifestyles, welcoming their tithes, and yet still accuse government of being corrupt. We easily forget that we, the citizens, are the government and owners of the state. It is our primary duty to live the change we desire by being responsible and committed to the good cause of the country, irrespective of our political, tribal, or sectarian sympathies. This is core to what One Ghana stands for. To be responsible citizens means the mindset is tuned, focused, and intentionally directed towards the cause of helping people and the planet. This mindset is most essential for the survival of us all as a people. The agenda to help people necessarily requires a creative ability and stimulation to solve societal problems. This is the way of thinking that is relevant for all, whether in public service or in private practice. Responsible citizenry means that we understand that we have a positive role to play in our communities, country, and the world. This also requires that we participate in activities that will make our communities flourish, our country blossom, and the world a better place. The rewards for this kind of thinking is enormous. And I agree with Andrew Jackson, the former president of the United States of America, and I quote him, "Every good citizen makes his country's honor his own and cherishes it not only as precious, but as sacred. He is willing to risk his life in its defense and is conscious that he gains protection while he gives it," unquote. As a country, we must identify the common areas of what makes us a nation and a people. For the divisions in policies only make sense if we understand the common cause of nationhood. The One Ghana initiative must work to honor the thoughts and expressions of Dr. Ephraim Amu, and I quote his famous song, but in English. I know some of you would like to sing it now, but let me quote it in English. This is our land, which is a valuable thing to us, acquired through the blood our ancestors shed for us. It is now our turn to continue what our ancestors started. Know-it-all behavior, cheating, selfishness has scarred our character and diminished our affection for our land. Whether or not this nation prospers clearly depends on the character of the citizens of the nation. Bragging of educational achievements or useless greed for material things and bad lifestyles are destroying our nation and disgracing it. Obedience and respect, caring for the welfare of one another every day, selflessness in the traditional way ensures each person's welfare. That is what will bring peace and prosperity to our nation. Whether or not this nation prospers clearly depends on the character of the citizens of the land, unquote. The mission of One Ghana to promote citizen and policy accountability and the prioritization of the national interest over partisan politics by employing policy analysis, advocacy, legal and financial interventions to drive social and political change in Ghana is clear. In the One Ghana we seek, we need to change our ways and social habits as a matter of practical urgency and accept and imbibe the urgency that we are responsible. This can be achieved by instilling in Ghanaians a sense of responsibility for the progress of the nation. In the One Ghana we want, we need to change our ways and make sure that our experiences with the twin disaster of fire and flooding would remind us of that necessity. While many will only want to focus on the disaster as the mere outcome of natural happenings, I will remind us that the flooding did not just happen because it rained. It happened because the drains were choked with the citizens' garbage, blocked or never existed at all due to the fact that we have built houses in waterways. The accident happened by regulatory inspectors being lax to ensure that all safety measures needed to operate a facility like that were in place, and that no such accident would occur in case it rained. A combination of policy failures and bad social habits, therefore, led to the death of more than 150 Ghanaians. Lives were lost, and the loss of family hopes and futures can simply not be replaced. That disaster could have been averted had our systems and institutions worked and our citizenry been responsible. Yet, they have not, and we all continue to look on as our city decays. Our capital city has over the years been associated with filth, congestion, poor planning, and pollution. The great cities of the world, and yes, in Africa too, were built on the back of planning and citizen responsibility. Responsibility implies that we are prepared to do the right thing and stop others from destroying our city. Our people must understand that we are all responsible to be diligent, to have integrity, to protect our nation's resources, to have a sense of patriotism that promotes peace and development in a sustainable manner. Obviously, we have challenges, but we cannot be negative, as I agree with Bernard Shaw, who says, "We are made wise not by the recollection of our past, but by the responsibility for our future." Fortunately, we know the challenges which we rattle easily, and the past always can guide us. But what we need to do is to start resolving the challenges in a timely manner in order for our challenges not to become insurmountable. As I exercise the honor to declare the One Ghana movement officially launched, I hereby call on all Ghanaians to join One Ghana to drive the nurturing of a Ghana of responsible citizens, a Ghana that prioritizes the national interest over partisan, selfish, religious, tribal interests, a Ghana of accountable and responsible public officials and politicians, a Ghana that truly honors the national pledge. My dear fellow countrymen and women, our national pledge is a call to duty. It sums up our responsibility as citizens to our dear country and dependence on God in discharging that duty. The duty is noble, and our honor of the pledge should unleash our energies to overcome our problems as a country. We need to remind ourselves of the obligations imposed. It charges us to serve and defend our motherland with all our strength and all our heart. The One Ghana initiative is a problem solver and a step towards the future. I dare say that the steps towards the future start with our obligation and understanding that we are responsible as individuals and as a collective to make Ghana one. With a great sense of honor and privilege, I hereby declare the One Ghana movement duly launched.